Hey, what's up? Hey, can we talk real quick about the problem with Lego Batman right now? I think it's pretty safe to say that Batman is Lego's most iconic superhero that is adapted towards Lego sets. He and Spider-Man are so huge for Lego that they had both single-handedly either taken over the entire branding for both DC and Marvel-based sets, or they're just so big that they get their own separate theme inside of Marvel and DC branded sets. Batman is huge, and the line is very nostalgic for me. I grew up admiring those old 2000 sets. They're so cool. Very expensive though, and I can't express how happy I was as a kid to have the line revived with the addition of Justice League members in 2012, I believe. What's super important to me are movies. Licensed sets, man. That's my speciality. The Batman movies are just the best. They're not as good as Spider-Man movies, I'll tell you what, but I hold them still equally near and dear to my heart. Over the years, we've had a couple of sets based on the movies, with Batman v Superman being the first Batman, quote, movie to have a whole line of sets based on it. It was like 3 sets, but you get what I mean. If you want to get really technical about it, Christian Bale was the first actor adapted to Lego as Batman, with one set released to tie into The Dark Knight. He had another one tying in for The Dark Knight Rises later on as well. And Robert Pattinson is the first actor to have a wave of sets based on his Batman movie where Batman is the sole role. Affleck had to share screen time with Wonder Woman and Superman, though he does appear in 5 out of the total Snyderverse sets. He's only one behind Henry Cavill's Superman. The year of 2021 was pretty kind to Batman fans. We had the release of a 60s Adam West Batmobile, there was a Christian Bale tumbler and a big UCS style tumbler, Robert Pattinson line along with the Michael Keaton Batmobile and Batwing still available for purchase today. But with these 4 live-action Batman actors portrayed in Lego this year, I can't help but wonder why we still have to have this cartoonish white stripe for the eyes on their head. Come on, it's been years. Batman actors not having more accurate cowls and faces has frustrated me to my core for years. I'll be honest, never to a point where it's actually been a major problem. I've still bought all of the sets, but I wonder why still they haven't changed it for a more accurate depiction of these live-action actors, especially after this year. We had so many sets that were based on movies and different actors' likenesses. I was left pretty disappointed with the reveal of these Pattinson sets remaining to have this cowl, especially since Matt Reeves has been very forward on selling this as yet another darker toned story for this character. It didn't make sense for Bales to have these eyes, it doesn't make sense for Affleck's to have these eyes, and it still doesn't make sense now. I actually find it charming with the Adam West ones. I guess that's my hypocrisy there, but others just really throw me off. I want to have a nice display of all of them together with their respective vehicles, but it kind of just looks like it's Lego Batman movie Batman wearing a bunch of different costumes. It feels more referential rather than representation. Now, I read somewhere that Batman is always supposed to be portrayed with these white eyes, and when you think about it, sure, that's definitely the iconic look for him, and it wouldn't surprise me if it's maybe in a contract or something that he has to always look this way, but surely that's just for Batman outside of live action, because I really like the white eyes look, just not for these movie figures. It just looks too jarring for me. And I was reminded that Batgirl has cowls where she just has eye holes for regular minifigure heads, so they're not afraid or against making a cowl to show regular minifig heads. I know that some of the old cowls don't match up with minifig eyes, so that would mean that they would either have to change the placement of eyes on minifigs, which they're definitely not likely to do, or change the cowl. In that case, you could just print the eyes onto the cowl, maybe, like Rey's mask that she has in Force Awakens, and when you take off the cowl, you're now left with just a regular minifig head underneath. That would work. The new Pattinson sets feature a secondary head of Robert Pattinson. It's actually just Tom Riddle, but go figure. And I like that more. Batman doesn't go around town without his cowl, obviously, but I think it's a bit easier to distinguish from the naked eye that he's supposed to be from a movie. And I think I'd be more likely to just have all of the actors standing around with a custom head and hairpiece for each of them, just holding on to their cowls. It's not ideal, but I really like that idea a lot more than these crazy white eyes. I'd love for Lego to change this in the future, obviously, and you'll see me there, like, day one buying them, but I'm not so confident that they will now, because this was the year, this was the perfect window, and they've missed it, so what else could they tie it into, you know? I'm just left wondering these things. We also don't have these sets here yet, so That's kind of what I've been thinking about the past couple of days. So I hope you'll agree with me that this is infinitely better than the White Eyes. And, I don't know, maybe if you complain enough times, LEGO will listen and they'll finally give us some accurate Batman heads.